I want to touch on something that you discuss in your book, which is that because there's abundance in money, we have to find places to try to get profits, right? And that's primarily been equities and real estate over the last at least decade. And so your house is getting older, arguably maybe needs some work, but it's going up in value because houses are more scarce than the money. Whereas you talk about Bitcoin repricing everything and actually bringing real estate down to the utility value. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because kind of going back to what you said earlier, it's so hard to imagine a world like that.
Yeah. So why do you own a house? Right? Why is the primary reason you own a house? And if the primary reason that you own a house is to try to escape the devaluation of a currency, which is a primary reason for most people, effectively they're buying a house because they say, I can pay back the debt in cheaper dollars tomorrow because of inflation. And if I own 2 houses or 3 houses, then I can rent out that and I can essentially sit on top of a system that the person getting poorer because their wages are actually going down are making me rich. And if I'm BlackRock and I can own 1 million houses, I can do it faster. So we own more houses, not because of the utility value. We own more houses because our money is getting worth less and we're going to pay it back in cheaper nominal terms. And so under a different system that Bitcoin, and by the way, this critical in this, we would never vote for the system of Bitcoin through an electoral process. We could never see ourselves voting for our wages coming down over time or our house prices coming down over time. So you can just imagine everyone you talk about, when you talk about the political process, it's we. We would vote those people in that'll tell us, oh no, because we don't see they're two different. We think they're two different things. Our house prices can go up forever, but everything we buy, we want cheaper. We want more value. We don't see that we are labor in every single thing we buy, and so that process on Bitcoin means that houses fall to their utility value when measured in Bitcoin. They will still go up if monetary policy is printing money. They'll still go up in fiat terms. But against Bitcoin, they're going to come down to the utility value.
It was compelling when you talked about these topics in your book because I'm a millennial and a lot of people within my peer group and the younger generations, we find it so hard to afford these things that were easier for previous generations. On my podcast, you talked about making a certain amount of money per hour as a lifeguard and your children the same age. So when you were 16, you were making how much? $20
an hour when I was 16 as a lifeguard in Vancouver. My kids make $16 an hour as a lifeguard today. That was in 1987.
Right.
And so they make $4 less an hour in inflation-adjusted terms. No wonder kids today don't want to work. Mm-hmm. No wonder kids today can't get, or your generation can't afford a house.
Yep.
Because it's essentially you're driving them to a point mm-hmm. where essentially, fuck it, right?
Yeah, and that's the pain point, right? To burn the system down. I mean, I was telling Jeff backstage, I went to get my hair cut a couple days ago. My hairdresser is now also a real estate agent just to make ends meet. And so it's that idea of what Saifedean has talked about in his books, that you have to earn your money twice.